Thank you everyone for joining today. This is Core Devs Call. Oh, whoops, I don't even have the right thing up. Core Devs Call 24. I think we have a few updates today for CIPs. I now realize I did not collect updates from working groups. So I'll give each working group some time to chime in if they have an update. And if we don't, we'll just go ahead and pass and move to the CIPs. So first, is there an update from the DA working group? I don't think so. The interface working group, is there any update here? And the ZK working group. If anyone has an update, please chime in. If not, we're gonna skip to CIPs. Cool. I guess we're gonna go ahead and jump to CIPs now. If someone does join the call later and has an update for the working groups, please chime in. But the first one we can talk about is the CIP that's basically scheduled to be CIP 29. This is still in review. I think we're just waiting on the graphic to be updated. We had some formula change and the number, like the exact numbers changed in the CIP. So Marco, if you want to give us a summary of kind of how that's changed since the last call, that would be great.
Yeah, so essentially we went with a simpler implementation of the proposed changes. And so the simpler implementation means that we are lowering the year zero inflation by 33%, which is the 8%. And then at year 1.5, we are doing the initial 6.7% drop in the inflation, meaning that the year 1.5 inflation has gone from 4.82% to a flat 5.0 inflation rate. And then in the long term, it ends up catching up. But the main idea here was a simpler implementation in the code that allowed us to just being able to deliver it at a quicker rate and have simpler testing practices. So yes, the updated implementation is the actual implementation that will go in the code as well.
Cool. Thank you. And I guess this is just going to be going into draft next once that graphic's updated. So if anyone does have, changes or anything that they'd like to request or talk about, I think the forum post is the best place for that. And then we'll have a few more stages before this is finalized for things to be changed if they need to. I guess I think Marco, that's probably all you had. I'm curious if anyone wants to chat about this or has any questions or anything about CIP 29. I will
Uh,
take, yeah, what's
a
up?
fan of the revised proposal. It's simpler math and much easier to test.
That's good to know. I think that I guess the equation before or the formula before was like a little bit more complicated.
Yeah,
And it looks
exactly.
like that, yeah, that's been resolved. So cool. Thank you, Marco, for helping out with that. Um, I'll leave the floor open just in case anyone wants to jump in there. Otherwise, we're going to go to CIP 30. And this is another one by Dean and Marco. And this proposes to remove the automatic claiming of staking rewards when modifying delegations. Instead, rewards are stored until manually claimed. I don't think we talked about this last time. Um, So I think this would be a good chance, Marco, if you want to add any more context about the CIP, or Dean, if you're here.
Yeah, so essentially what's going on today in the Cosmos SDK when you are modifying a delegation, i.e., delegating to a validator that you have an existing delegation, you redelegate or you unbond, the system is automatically claiming your staking rewards and sending it to your account. Of course, every jurisdiction is different. In the jurisdictions that I am a part of, that I file taxes for, which are the US and Germany, this is a taxable event. So first of all, this is a simpler UX that simplifies how claiming of rewards works and makes it more consistent, less load on the state machine. And second of all, if either the jurisdiction you reside in has a staking reward claim system in which when the rewards hit your account, then it is deemed taxable, then this would help avoid unnecessary extra taxable events. And so they're in talking to an accountant. They like for my personal stuff, my personal taxes, they confirm that this would, since there's no transaction on my personal account, that this would help avoid extra taxation when moving delegations. Of course, it's the fix is not only it doesn't prevent the taxation, it just delays it to a explicit point. But also it just provides a better UX because now you can do more modifications within your staking system without causing a unbeknownst claiming.
Cool. Thank you, Marco. Does anyone have questions about this CIP?
Does the implementation of this involve creating a fork?
I think you asked it. Oh,
Yes, we will do a fork, but we are so we will continue with the Celestia fork of the Cosmos SDK.
Alrighty, sounds good.
and for this one, this has been merged as a draft. I think we'll leave it in a draft until the next call and then talk about in the next call moving this to in review. In the meantime, if you want to join the forum discussion, there's a link on the CIP to this. I do want to do another call just to make sure no one has any questions or thoughts on this for this call. Marius, what's up?
How is this? So, question to Marco, because he's clearly familiar with this. How is this interacting with the fund distribution protocol? Because the auto claim was a result of that, to my knowledge.
Like funding, which fund protocol?
The F1 distribution, so the entire protocol for distribution of rewards. And I
Yeah,
remember
so we're still like the implementation withdraws the rewards because this is how F1 works, but it doesn't send it to the user account. So it will hold it within the distribution module until there's an explicit withdraw rewards call on the message server.
so
Mainly just
the accounting happens, just that the actual send is not happening.
correct.
Correct. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, this is why we're here. So if anyone else has questions on this, now's a good time to ask, but it's also definitely okay to do this async. So I'll leave the floor open again just in case. And we'll go ahead and jump to CIP a CIP that's in a draft PR right now. And a quick summary of this is that the CIP proposes modifying lockup accounts to account for staking rewards. And this change will modify lockup accounts, total amount, and how much is unlocked. I think this would be another one, Marco, if you're willing to give us a quick summary. And then we'll go ahead and leave the floor open for discussion about this as well.
Yeah, so so essentially the proposal is to treat rewards as lockup and the accounts in the lockup account schedule. So in the design and implementation, we would be modifying the total amount vesting and the per block unlock, and also the locked amount would be based off how much of the account is locked versus unlocked today. So in short, for example, if the account has unlocked 40% of the tokens, then 40% of the staking rewards will be available for users to freely use, stake, and or send to another account, while the other 60 would be added to the lockup schedule. This is a simpler design in thinking over the other proposals of lowering inflation for lockup accounts. There's too many unknown things that could happen on chain and off chain that could lead to a larger issue. For an existing chain, for a new chain, it could be something to think through. But yeah, this is meant to kind of just treat rewards as part of the lockup schedule instead of what is being done today across the proof of stake ecosystem.
Awesome. Thank you, Marco. Does anyone who's here have questions for Marco or Dean about this CIP? I'm gonna assume that's a no. This one is still in draft, so or in a draft PR, so probably won't be merged right away, but if you want to jump into the forum discussion, that's the best place to talk about that. Yeah, but thank you, Marco. I think a lot of people will be fans of this. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of a last call for anything that we've talked about in this call. If anyone from the working groups has joined since we started, I forgot to get updates from the working groups. So if there is an update from DA interface or the ZK working group, now would be a great time to jump in and give an update. Else we will just talk about that in 2 weeks. I'm going to go ahead and take the silence as no, and just remind everyone to join into the forum discussion if you have any comments. Maybe you're watching this after the fact and want to join the discussion. So the forum posts are the best place to talk about that. And we can go ahead and, unless anyone has anything right now, just briefly talk about the next call, which I think we should schedule for 2 weeks from now, which would be on March 5th at the same time. Does that sound good with everyone that's here? Cool. All right. Thank you everyone for coming today. And we look forward to seeing you in Core Devs Call 25 on the 5th of March at 5 p.m. UTC. And thanks again, everyone, for coming. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, I ended.